Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're going to predict and of course do the betting strategy for the Serie A round 5 and matchups. So let's just get straight into it. We're going to start with Cagliari against Empoli. Cagliari have had a bad start of the season with only 2 points out of the first 4 games, where the first 2 actually were draws and the last 2 were lost. Empoli is doing a bit better. They're unbeaten this season with 3 draws and 1 win, and with that, of course, are on 6 points after 4 matches. Last season, Cagliari and Empoli, of course, played each other 2 times, with 1 ending in a draw and the 1 ending in a Cagliari win. This was when Cagliari were playing away. The last time Cagliari won at home, though, against Empoli was back in 2017. Since then, there have been 2 draws between them and 1 win for Empoli. I think Empoli, though, have looked better this season, and because of that, I am going for a Empoli win. Then we have Hellas Verona against Torino. Verona have had an alright start of the season with 2 wins and 2 losses in the Serie A. Torino have done even better. They are unbeaten at the moment with 2 wins and 2 draws. Verona's last match was, of course, a loss against Lazio, while Torino's last match was a draw against Lecce. Last season, Hellas Verona and Torino have played each other twice, with 1 ending in a draw and the other one being won by Torino. This was when they were playing away. The last time Verona won this head-to-head was in 2018. Since then, 4 wins for Torino and 6 draws. I think Torino do have the better squad here, have a slightly better form, and I think it will be a close matchup, but I think I'm going to go for a Torino win. Then we have Venezia against Genoa. Venezia have had a rough start in the Serie A with only 1 point out of 4 games, while Genoa have done a bit better with 5 points out of 4 matches. Venezia have lost like the last 2 matches, while Genoa have only had 1 point out of the last 2 matches. Venezia and Genoa have last played each other 2 months ago in the preseason, where Genoa won 3-1. And actually the last time Venezia won at home against Genoa was back in 1997. Since then there have been 4 wins for Genoa and 3 draws. I think Genoa have the better team here, the better form, and because of that will get the win here. Then Juventus against Napoli. Juventus have had an alright start of the season with 8 points out of the first 4 Serie A games, and of course then a win in the Champions League against PSV as well. With that, of course, they are still unbeaten this season. Napoli lost their first match in the Serie A, but then got 3 wins, and with that are on 9 points. Juventus' last game, of course, was against PSV in the Champions League, but before that they surprisingly drew both Serie A matches, which of course isn't the best. Last season, Napoli and Juventus, of course, played each other twice, with both teams winning their home games. And I actually think both teams are quite equal. I think Juventus is a little better defending-wise, but I think Napoli is a little better attacking-wise. And because of that, I am going to go with a draw. Then we have Lecce against Parma. Lecce have had an alright start of the season with 4 points out of the 4 Serie A games this season. Parma also do have 4 points, but the difference between the teams is Parma has lost the last 2, while Lecce has won. While Lecce has lost the first 2, so there's a little bit of slightly dip in form there. Although the losses from Parma didn't even look that bad, they still lost. But the last time Lecce and Parma actually met each other was in 2023 in the Coppa Italia, where Parma won 4-2. And I think this is going to be a real close match. I think Parma have been doing a little bit better, but Lecce playing at home is really looking okay. So I'm actually going to go for a draw here. Then we have Fiorentina against Lazio. Fiorentina have had a bad start of the season with only 3 points in the first Serie A games, but did qualify in the Conference League against Puskás Academy, which they had to win on penalties, which was looking quite bad from them. Lazio have had like a better start of the season with 7 points out of the 4 Serie A games, while Fiorentina lost their last game 3-2 against Atalanta. Lazio won their last matchup against Verona with 2-1. Last season, Fiorentina and Lazio, of course, played each other twice, with both times actually the home team winning. I think Lazio has the better team compared to Fiorentina. I think they've been playing better this season, so with that, I'm going for a Lazio win. Then we have Monza against Bologna. Monza have not had to start the Serie A, best start in the Serie A with 3 points out of 4 games, with 3 draws, including the last 2 matches. Bologna has done basically the exact same. 3 points out of 4 matches, and the last 2 matches were also a draw in the Serie A. And even the last match, which was of course against Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, it ended in a draw. Bologna and Monza have played each other twice last season, with both ending in a 0-0 draw. I think Bologna have got the better team, but they are not looking in a good form at the moment. But I still think Bologna should get this W. Then we have AS Roma against Udinese. AS Roma have not started the season how they would have hoped. And probably also not how they expected it. With only 3 points out of the first 4 matches, they have not been doing well. I think Udinese also didn't have the start they expected, with 10 points out of the first 4 Serie A games, and with that actually being first in the league. Last season, AS Roma and Udinese played each other twice, with actually Roma winning both matchups. The last 4 matches between these two have played in Rome were all won by AS Roma, but I think Udinese are gonna keep their form of being number 1 in the Serie A and actually are going to win this matchup. I think they've been looking pretty good, and AS Roma have not looked great until now. So I think if there's ever a chance for Udinese to win this one, I think it's now. So I'm going for an Udinese win. Then we have Inter Milan against AC Milan. Of course, a huge matchup for both teams, as they are both basically title contenders and of course play in the same stadium. Inter are still unbeaten this season, with in the Serie A 8 points out of 4 games, and in the Champions League a 0-0 draw against Manchester City, which I actually didn't expect. And AC Milan have had a little bit of a worse start, with only 5 points out of the 4 matches in the Serie A, and then also a loss in the Champions League against Liverpool. AC Milan and Inter have played each other, of course, twice last season, with both being won by Inter. And actually the last 6 matches between them have been won by Inter Milan. And I think they are going to extend the streak, as Inter Milan has been looking better this season. And because of that, I'm going for a Inter Milan win. Then we have Atalanta against Como. Atalanta have started the season with a loss in the Super Cup against Real Madrid. After this, they got 6 points out of the first 4 matches in the Serie A, with winning 3-2 last week against Fiorentina. They also had a Champions League match earlier this week against Arsenal, which of course I think they should have won that matchup, as they were the better team. Of course, had a penalty, but they didn't, because they didn't score that one. Then Como, after 4 Serie A matches, are only on 2 points. With a draw last week against Bologna, they made it 2. The last time Atalanta and Como have actually played each other was in 2022, where Atalanta won the match. And actually, in all the 7 times these two have played each other, Atalanta has won 7 times. There were 2 draws and no wins for Como. And I think it is not going to change. I think Atalanta, if they hold the form they had against Arsenal, I think they will get the W here. So with that, I'm going for an Atalanta win. And then we have the betting part. I'm going to be pretty short about this. I've betted on every match except the last two. So I'm betted on Empoli to win. Odd for that is 3.45. Torino to win. Odd for that is 2.70. Genoa to win, the odd for that is 2.34. Juventus and Napoli to draw, the odd for that is 3.35. Lecce and Parma to draw, the odd for that is 3.5. Lazio to win their matchup, the odd for that is 3.10. And Udinese to win, Bologna to win their match, the odd for that is 2.37. And Udinese to win their match, the odd for that is 5.25. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting 18 cents, not 80, 18 cents on the trebles, which are 56 trebles. So in total, I'm going to be putting 10 euros and 8 cents on these matches. And with that, I could win 300 euros or something. But I don't expect all 8 of them to be right because the chances that is right is so small. But yeah, I'm going for this. I'm hoping, of course, for as much as possible matches right. But for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Please have a good day, and I will see you.